This is a presentation on the community assessment gathered by junior OHSU nursing students and the citizens of the city of Klamath Falls. This presentation focuses on the assessment of Political Ward 3 and was conducted during the spring of 2013. The boundary of Political Ward 3 on the east is marked by Patterson Street as it travels through the neighborhood of Foothills, also known as North Hills. Ward 3 also stretches south and incorporates the Mills development from Garden Street to Shasta Way. Finally, a thin portion of Ward 3 stretches along Washburn Way to Laverne Avenue. To the west, Ward 3 is bordered by City Ward 2. Ward 3 is divided into very diverse sections. The Foothills area is an affluent residential neighborhood with access to Steam Sports Park and several walking trails along Hogsback. There is also access to several churches, the Herald and News, the jail and sheriff's office. The Mills area is a centrally located neighborhood with access to public transportation, food, and public resources. Along Washburn Way, there is a variety of businesses ranging from corporate chains to local restaurants. The Mills development was named after William H. Mills and turned into a residential neighborhood with a school and orchard in 1906. The Foothills North Hills development started in the 1970s but saw the majority of its growth from 2000 to 2004. The economic downturn of 2008 slowed the building. However, this area has seen the addition of more homes and rental complexes in the last few years. The majority of the secondary data on Ward 3 came from the 2010 census via the American Fact Finder website. This slide depicts the wealth of information and statistics available about this ward. In congruency with the other wards, we collected and compared secondary data regarding high school dropout rates, income levels, secondary education, and unemployment rates. The number of single-parent households in Ward 3 was also deemed as significant. Worth noting is the fact that there are roughly 1,000 people in Klamath who have dropped out of high school. 446, or roughly half of these individuals, are located in the Mills area, and 194 of these individuals live in the Foothills North Hills area. An overview of the data gathered is depicted on this slide. Ward 3 has a variety of community resources. Members of the Mills neighborhood are within close proximity to the police and fire stations. They also have access to Kiwanis Public Park, which is located in the heart of Mills, as well as the main bus routes that run along Washburn. There is a school located in Ward 2 near the border of Ward 3. The Mills community has food access within walking distance, including grocery stores such as Fred Meyer's and Safeway, and fast food chains. The YMCA is also within walking distance for Mills residents and offers after-school activities. Members in the Foothills area have access to Steam Sports Park, many walking trails, and bus routes. Other resources, including food access and dental offices, are located further away and often require personal transport, such as a car or bicycle, to access. Members of our research group were able to go on ride-alongs with local police officers. In the Mills neighborhood, there was reported elevated crime, including gang and drug activity, as well as prostitution. In the Foothills neighborhood, breaking and entering, along with burglary, were the most common forms of crime reported. Members of the Foothills neighborhood identified a lack of community cohesiveness, poorly behaved pets, the use of public trails for illegal activity. One resident brought up that she was followed home one day after using the trail. The need of a vehicle to access many resources and ignoring the street signs and traffic laws are also challenges brought up by members of the community. Members of the Foothills neighborhood also identified a number of strengths in their community. These strengths included higher than average income, positive feelings about living in the area, access to outdoor activities including trails, and well-maintained streets, sidewalks, and streetlights. Members of the Mills neighborhood identified challenges and areas for improvement in their community. These challenges included concerns about child safety, illicit drug use. One resident stated that children within their community learn about all types of illegal drugs at a young age. a lack of yard maintenance, a spree of breaking and entering, perceived poor relations with members of law enforcement by community members, a need to improve the roads and sidewalks, and a need for expanded public transportation options. The Mills neighborhood also highlighted strengths that their community possesses. These strengths included a strong sense of community, a physically active community, and the accessibility of resources. Throughout this project, challenges inevitably arose. These challenges revolved around gathering data and included gaining a working knowledge of the ward boundaries, finding effective ways to integrate into the community with the goal of gaining a knowledge of the community's perspective, and finally it was difficult to find effective ways of explaining the scope and purpose of the project. Throughout the process of gathering and analyzing the data, many recurring themes were identified, including the occurrences of breaking and entering, concerns for child safety, and the use of illegal substances. Both neighborhoods also emphasized the importance of a prevalent sense of community and the ability and confidence to access resources. In conclusion, Ward 3 includes several diverse neighborhoods that share strengths and weaknesses and have a common interest and desire in seeing both their individual communities and the city of Klamath Falls prosper.